Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody doing okay?
Yes.
Doing great, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
He's carrying us today, apparently.
I appreciate the deep concern.
Yeah.
I feel it. Thank you right there.
That's what I'm here for.
So, you know what we haven't done for a little while? Mm-hmm. Deep questions from a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Have you had any from your 6-year-old in a while?
Yesterday.
Okay.
You guys.
Okay.
So it was a good day. Got all his work done. So we had like a quick little dance party in the car to a song called El Tucanazo, and it just gets you going really fast. And he's just like stomping his foot, and so I was like, "Hey, we're gonna have a good afternoon. Let's go to the park."
Okay.
And so we go to the park, meet some friends, really good time. And then we're driving home. Out of the blue, Mama, will I become the head of the house if you die?
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Wow.
That took a really hard turn.
Why did that even
Will
come
I be the
from?
head of... What about Dad? So is he like vying for...
I think it's because like I was the one in the car.
Okay, so if your husband
Yeah.
had been in the car, got it. Okay.
So I'm like,
so if something happens to us
Yes.
here, am I stepping in?
you're 6 years old. So I'm like, if something happens to Papa, then I will become the head of the house. And if something happens to me, depending on your age and depending on whether or not you're a good steward of what you have, you may or may not become the head of the house.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's a good answer.
You're like, it depends if my 3-year-old has more.
yeah, depending on how your
Responsibility
sister's
than you.
maturity progresses.
And he's like, yeah. So I don't want to be like Jacob, right? I don't want to just do it for the money.
From the Bible? So that's where this is all
That's
coming.
the story of Esau and Jacob.
Okay.
So there you
all right.
go.
Wow.
I'd watch your back if I were you.
It's just for my 6-year-old.
The KLRC Morning Show.
90.9 KLRC.
Ready for some good news?
We are too.
Here's your positive difference story of the day.
All right. I just want you guys to imagine for a second. You're on a flight. You're in the back row. You know, the discount section. That's where I sit.
Yep, me too.
And you're ready to receive those announcements. You hear the pilot start talking. You know that he's going to start telling you about the weather
Right?
1,000 miles away. But this time it's a little bit different. He starts talking about a 2-year-old on board. His name's Cruz, and he's been traveling from California to New York, back to California, then back to New York.
Man, he's 2 years old. He's been on some miles.
He's put on a lot of miles, but it's not just miles, it's hardship too. He's really been through it. So he has a very special type of cancer. It's stage 4-2.
Wow.
And it's really not good.
2 years old?
2 years old, traveling back and forth for treatment, thousands of miles. But he actually beat cancer.
Woo!
Man.
But it took months and months, and he was just living in the hospital for so long. He's really strong. So the pilot, he ended up making an announcement saying, we have a very special passenger on board. His name's Cruz. He's over here in the back with his parents, and he's finally getting to go home.
Wow.
And that's when some passengers realize they have some napkins. They've got it on their seat next to their drink, and they don't want to just throw their napkins away because they have a pin too. So these passengers, they all got the idea to write encouraging messages for Cruz to take home and to look over. He might not understand it now because he's just 2.
Right.
But man, in a couple years, these encouraging messages on little airplane napkins. Ooh.
Wow.
His parents were just so thankful. And there's a video of them with the napkins and them holding it. It's about 4 inches thick.
Because of all the napkins.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And he might not be able to read it right now, but his parents sure can.
And they probably need the encouragement just as much.
Imagine that being like your bedtime story at night. It's not like Goldilocks. It's, hey, let's read some of these napkins.
Look how strong
of
you are.
strangers
Yeah.
that supported you.
That's really cool. That is our positive difference story of the day. I've been talking to you this morning about what are those dreams or things that are inside of you that you've wanted to do, but either it was too much noise from the outside or even the inside, voices in your own head where you're like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
It takes me back to high school when I told my advisor that I wanted to go to college. And she told me I wasn't ready.
Okay.
And I was like, interesting. So I went.
Do you think you were ready? I mean, is anybody ever fully ready?
Yeah.
That's maybe part of it.
Yeah. And then I got to college, and my advisor there, when I told her I was ready to go to, so as a community college, I was like, I'm ready to go to 4-year. She's like, no, you're just going to be like the rest of the other Latinas who get to university and can't live without your mommy, so you come back home.
Oh, wow.
I was like, deuces. I'm out of here. But those, because of their words, that's what like ignited the fire within me to prove them wrong and to show that I could. And that's kind of been that's like trajected me forward to, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
Tell me I can't, please.
So instead of letting those words be the thing that kept you back, they actually fueled you to do it. Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Man, I've had a lot of support in my life. So like trying to narrow it down and find the thing where, somebody told me not to do it and I'm like, I'm going to prove you wrong. I don't have a lot of that, but what I do have is my own mind kind of turning against me and being like, hey, you have big dreams and you have big aspirations, but you're not really planning on doing any of that, right? It's really my own mind. So I think of jobs that I've had. I think the first one was doing the youth pastor role. Like my mind's, you're too young. What are you doing? Because I started that at like 19. And that was just like a year and a half ago. And it was just a really hard battle. I had literally dozens of people alongside me supporting me and telling me, this is where God wants you. We see the fruit of it. But my mind was like, ooh,
not so sure.
I don't know. Even moving up here and doing, the radio thing, like, man, I don't know if I'm ready, even though a lot of people, once again, alongside supporting me.
Yeah. Almost like that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, man, sometimes the loudest voices are our own in our head. I think, for us, I think one of them was, even though we wanted to for a long time to adopt, I think there were probably, I don't know that there were so much outside voices. Although sometimes there were even people who were like, oh, that's a good thing, but do you really want to disrupt your life that way? There's always kind of like a little pause. But even for us, I think there was kind of all the questions of like, oh, is this really going to work out? Is God really going to provide the money? What ifs, all those kind of things. And so we drug our feet on it for a while. And it was probably because of those voices in our head but then to finally get to that place and you're like, no, okay, I'm not going to listen to that. Right. There's a voice that matters more, and we're going to follow that one.
You did it.
And and not because it was easy, but because it was good and the right thing. So if you want to join the conversation this morning, we'd love to know what's one thing for you that you're like, I don't know. Those voices inside or outside my head, they're holding me back. But you did it. Call or text us, 800-909-KLRC.
My name is Dale Neville, and the thing that changed everything for me, I'm 11 years into Celebrate Recovery, and what changed it for me was God asked us to start one after being 8 years in recovery.
Oh, wow.
And my wife was not in Celebrate Recovery at the time. My daughter was not. And God restored my marriage, my family, just a whole bunch of things that happened. But my wife was like, I don't think so. We're not going to do this. That's your thing. Celebrate Recovery is your thing. And everybody around me was like, Dale, this is your calling. You need to do this. But the voices in my head said, I don't have enough experience. I don't know enough. I've only been a Christian for 8 years. 46 years I had been going to church but lived a double life. I'm like, God, I'm not qualified for this. But we did it anyway. And after a year and a half of doing one, the church we were in decided they didn't want it anymore. And so my wife and daughter stayed in Celebrate Recovery, and now we helped start them.
Wow.
And we just helped launch one last week. We're going to help launch one in about 6 months. I'm still involved in my original CR, but those voices in my head every once in a while, you've done too much wrong, Dale. In your life, you've ruined 2 marriages. I still have 4 daughters that don't talk to me for good reason. And, how can you use me, God, after all the damage that I've done and how damaged I am? And God says, I don't look at that. His voice in my head says, because of me, I don't see all that anymore.
The KLRC Morning Show.
90.9 KLRC.
Our friend Susie Ellher from the More Than Small Talk podcast joins us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Not just a podcaster, too.
No.
Author, speaker, grandma, wife, all those
all the
really
things.
important parts, too.
Hiker, food eater.
Yes. And now fiction writer.
I know, novelist. We had to make it fancy.
And not just like any fiction book. Like this has some really good depth to
It's got
it.
some grit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Generous Orchid.
Uh-huh.
I see it's been like in the making for decades.
26 years.
Where did that originate?
So I want to start with this, is that when I was first picked up by my agent 26 years ago, it was because she really loved my fiction. And somehow, I think my love of reading and writing is fiction, but my love of people led me to nonfiction, my love of ministry.
Yeah.
And so that led to 14 nonfiction books over the years. And so I've been pregnant with fiction. That's how I describe it for, 25 plus years. Mm-hmm. And I just decided this last year, because every time that I approached it with an agent or a publisher, basically what I was told in very gentle, kind ways is stay in your own lane. You've created this lane. This is how people know to find you. This is the words that they expect. And if you suddenly take a hard left turn, you're going to leave that community behind. And I don't know that I still believe that, because honestly, the same concept, my whole concept is living free. Mm-hmm. It shows up in this too. Living free in your faith, living free in relationships, living free because of who God created you to be. And so about a year ago, I sat down and I started looking, and I had written 4 books over the years for myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I thought, I am going to start down this left side lane, and I'm going to do it for the sheer joy of doing it. Wow. So it's like the difference between working and dancing. They both take effort, but now I'm dancing.
I love
Makes
it.
me really happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
The KLRC Morning Show.
90.9 KLRC.
We've been hanging out with our friend Susie Ellher from the More Than Small Talk podcast. She's written 14 different nonfiction books for years, had this dream about writing a fiction book. A lot of voices saying, stay in your lane, Susie. And we've been talking about what happens when you have that dream that it's been delayed or you're not so sure. And then I'm curious for you, what changed when you finally said, yes, I'm going to go for this?
Even as you're saying that, I'm getting teary, because I think that I finally gave myself permission to shut down all the hype and noise around me and go with my gut. Go with what would bring me joy, because we put these things on top of our dreams that says it has to look this way, or it has to have a certain number, or it has to be successful in this way. And that's what they were saying is, Susie, if you walk this path, you're going to lose the success, and there's my little air quotes behind this, because you're not known for that. But I put that aside and gave myself permission, green light, run after what makes you feel joy-filled. Run after what you've known for a quarter of century that has been in you, and you put it down, pushed it down over and over again. Do I wish I had done it earlier? Maybe. But I don't know. I think joy comes at whatever stage of the journey that you realize, I'm just going to run after this with my whole heart. And my role in this is to show up. And if it's successful or not, it still brings joy. And isn't that success in one form?
That's so good.
I mean, I completely understand where I was in a 14-year career where I heard the exact same things.
Yes.
And it's like, well, this is what you're known for. How are you going to apply for a different kind of position? Like, this is all you've ever done. And it's like, you know what? That's okay. If this goes great, then great. And if it doesn't, then at least I know that I've done something to try to fulfill like what I know is going to bring me joy. Even though for me, that was unknown.
Sure.
Right? It was just like I'm stepping out into the unknown. And I am literally dancing at work now.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
I love that, and I've seen you dance, and I love that.
It happens every day.
I think the message that I was hearing, and again, these people loved me. Mm-hmm. They were very much trying to be protective and give me great advice, and so, but. One of the things that I heard often is you have a table that you have built, Susie, and there are people around that table. So you're going to be building a separate table and starting over. And what I realize now is, no, I'm just building a bigger table.
Yeah.
I still, and I'm just going to get very blunt. When you're in ministry, in whatever format, a trap you can fall into is that your followers are the number of that is very important. And what I would say to that is never ever did I enter ministry for people to follow me.
Yeah.
I entered ministry for people to follow Christ.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but what I have found is that the people who loved the message of living free in those 14 nonfiction books are now like, oh, okay, I'm not sure where you're going, but I'm going to come with you just to figure it out. Yeah. And so my table, and then here's these other people who have never heard of anything I've written that are going, I really like your fiction. So I'm going to pop over and listen to Prayer Starters on KLRC, or I'm going to pick up this Bible study book from my Bible. So the table's just getting bigger.
That's so awesome. We love it. All right, remind us again the title of the book.
Generous Orchid. It's historical fiction. It's not fluffy. It's gritty.
That's my kind of book.
It's gritty. We go deep. And then it's a series. And I am right now unfolding the second book on Substack, and it will be released in a couple of months.
That's awesome. Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
The KLRC Morning Show.
90.9 KLRC.
Let's go! 1, 2, 3, go! H-A-P-P-Y-B-R-T-X-D-A-Y.
Hey!
Happy birthday. Yes. Let's do it. It's time for the Marketplace Grill Birthday Bash. It's Tuesday, April 14th.
Happy 12th birthday to Hayden Oldham in Fayetteville.
And Kason Heim turns 11 today in Van Buren.
Happy birthday to Elmer Panther, turning 56 in Kansas.
Chad Miller is turning 15 in Centerton.
And JW, Jacob Williams, turning 18 in Jay, Oklahoma today.
Noah Grace Kimball, turning 9 in Stillwell.
And Shelby Peterson is also celebrating her 15th birthday in Rogers.
And happy birthday as well to Mitzi Evans in Rogers. All right, the randomizer has picked out a winner for us.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. It's Mark, Becky, and Ross from KLRC. We're trying to reach Noah. Noah Grace?
Yes, he's right. Yes, he's right here. Hi.
Hey,
Noah.
Happy birthday. Noah, what's one thing that you're thankful about?
Family.
Pretty good answer, buddy. That's pretty awesome. All right, well, we're going to set you up with a gift certificate to celebrate with our friends at the Marketplace Grill, too. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, have a good
birthday.
day.
Thank you so much.